everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mysterious Pals Show. And my buddy, Joey Pepperoni, Jordan, is here again to delight us with a travel through time and space in mysterious places. Jordan, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with me today. We talked last episode, we ended on a question. Do you remember what that question was?
What?
Would you take back in time?
Yes.
One thing.
So you're saying if you took back a gun, wouldn't have the bullets with it?
No, one thing.
Is there?
If you take a bullet, you only have a gun.
Right. How far back can we go?
Say we're going like 1500, 1600, something in there. Middle ages maybe even. But like you want to prove that you are a god so you can like take these people over. Like you're going back there to just wreck the place. Like you are going to change history.
Yeah. I'd say cell phone, but like eventually, yeah, your battery's going to die.
Yeah, but also.
And then what happens with that? Like,
well, they're just going to see it and be like,
they're like, well, what are you going to do now?
But also when they see it, they're just going to be like, you're a witch, and boom.
Or we're gonna someone's gonna steal it from you.
Yeah, you don't know. It was dirty back then.
Dirty.
What about this? Okay, I'll give you another one. You had to give up your elbows or your knees.
Oh, what?
Let's pick one.
Elbows or knees?
Elbows or knees. Gotta be one. No elbows, no knees.
I
don't think we've ever talked about this.
No. Got rid of your knees, you couldn't walk, right?
I mean, you could. But.
Did you?
I don't know if you could drive.
Did you walk without your knees?
Yeah. I mean, you break a leg? I messed up my knee really bad when I was like in, I don't know, middle school maybe. And I had to wear like a brace over my knee. I couldn't bend my knee.
You wouldn't be able to sit, but like not. You would be.
And you can lay down.
Fine, yeah.
That's just a better form of sitting. Elbows or knees? Because if like, I think I'd probably go knees because like with no elbows, you have to be like, couldn't be doing a podcast with my friend because I'd be knocking stuff over. You have to be like type like this. You'd have to like play video games like this. Like you'd be your arms would be so tired.
It'd be very uncomfortable. Yeah, I'd say
you could drive like this maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, see, no kneecaps then.
Yeah. I could do a lot of cool stuff with my arms, but I can't do it. I mean, I guess I could run with my legs, but I could also get like, I don't know. Again, I know there's people who actually live this life.
Yeah.
You know, there's people out there that have even worse. So as a thought experiment.
Yeah. No elbows. Knees.
Let's circle back. I shouldn't say sickle back. Let's circle back.
Suckle back. No elbows or knees. I'm gonna say, yeah, no knees. Yeah, because like having your arms out like that, even like maybe like this.
Could you imagine running from someone like that? Like it would suck. It would not be fun. I mean, I am thankful to be fully abled person. I can't imagine having this type of challenges that a lot of people have.
Would you rather be blind or deaf?
Deaf. 1,000 times deaf. I mean, they both suck.
Yeah.
They're both unfortunate for everybody.
How about this? Would you rather have your eyesight and lose it or just be born blind?
Born blind.
Yeah. Losing it and knowing.
This is someone who, and I'm not trying to compare these in any way, someone who could eat dairy and beef until they were 19 years old and then
not be able
to have something happen to their body that they don't even know what happened from some type of medicine or something and not be able to eat that stuff anymore or get violently ill. Is either that or a tick. The Lone Star tick.
Tick can do that?
Tick can do that, yes.
The Lone Star tick.
They specifically call it the Lone Star tick. The doctors weren't sure which one it is that happened to me. Because it was still kind of years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was 20 years ago now. That happened. And it was in college. And I was like, I can't eat. I would eat fish food ice cream from Ben and Jerry's, and the Hot Pockets, the mozzarella and Hot Pockets, and like I remember it was freshman year of college, and I was like, why am I so sick right now every time I eat anything? And it was terrible. No beef. I can't eat beef. No steak. No burgers. I can eat other meat, but
are Lone Star ticks where we are?
Yeah. They came up here eventually,
Okay.
I guess. I mean, there's a lot of research. It's like, it's one or the other. It's Accutane medicine.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right, that's right. Yeah.
Or Lone Star tick.
Sucks.
Yeah. And the worst part about it takes 3 years for it to actually happen.
Really?
Yes, it took me when I was 16 when I took it. I was 19 when it happened.
Do you remember getting a tick when you were...
I don't know. It was pretty rad. I was doing all kind of cool stuff. I was always messing around, screwing things up.
Crick walking?
Yeah, doing all kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, but the thing with blind thing, I'd rather be born blind.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there'd always be like that, maybe I could just see once.
Yeah, but
then that'd be taken away, it'd be terrible.
You never know.
Yeah.
In any case.
Wait, what would you take back time if you could take one thing back?
A nuclear weapon.
But you wouldn't be able to detonate it.
Why? It's one thing.
But don't you need like a detonator for it?
The buttons on the side.
Buttons on the side? You just press it and run?
What if like a tank? No ammo, but I can still run things over.
Yeah.
No gas except for what's in it. I mean, it's unanswerable question.
Wait, so you're saying you can take a tank back with gas maybe in it already?
No bullets.
But you can't take a gun back with bullets in it already?
No.
Why not?
I guess it's a good question. I don't know. Because then this is stupid. I guess you can't take back anything because you don't want to have gas.
Yeah, right.
But I could just...
I'd say camera, but you couldn't...
Film.
Like a digital camera, but you couldn't have batteries in it.
A digital camera?
Like you could take the picture and show them on the screen, but if you couldn't have batteries in it, then... But I also feel like you did that people are like, this person's a witch. And
exactly. They stole my soul.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
It has to be something so awesome that people are like, oh my God, he's going to murder us someone. Like maybe a giant mech. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like a book on like farming. Like if we go back to the Middle Ages, here's how to farm better.
Oh, right.
But if you go back to like 1800s, they're going to be like, ha.
Yeah.
Or you take back like a book that says like all what happens investment wise.
Oh yeah, like in like
But if Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But if you so you go back to the Middle Ages. You got like whatever. Like okay, I take back a book on like what's that show? There's a show about time travel. And it's about like lovers. Lovers, a love story.
Time travel?
Yeah, man.
The one with the mailbox.
You've got mail? the lake house.
Yeah, is it the mailbox? Yeah. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
No.
It's a show.
Oh, a show. All right.
It's not some dumb rom-com from 92. Yeah, it's called okay. It's based on the revolution of Britain and not Ireland, but what's the other one?
Wait, what?
There's Ireland, Britain, what's the other one?
Scotland?
Scotland. It's Scotland. It's like a Scottish thing. It takes place in the Scotland Revolution.
Highlander.
What? Crap. Look this up. This is going to drive me nutsos.
What?
So I would take like a DVD player and watch that video. Like, check this out. Netflix.
But you won't have the DVD.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So, wait.
It's a time travel love story show on Netflix, or it's on Stars or something. I don't know.
Rom-com time travel.
No, it's not It's not comedy.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
No, that was your dumb movie about the lake house.
Kate Leopold. No. Wait. Romantic time travel. Is this a show?
Yes, it was a book series. Some hunky guy with blonde hair. And then in the later seasons, they come to America, and it becomes like part of the American Revolution. And
when did this come out?
It's like recent. It might be Showtime or Star.
The Foreigners?
Nope. Not at all. You ever this movie, A120, or what's that one movie, A24?
Yeah, that movie studio.
They made a movie called Barely Lethal.
No.
It's about this high school girl who's an assassin. And she's like, I don't want to be an assassin anymore. I want to go to high school.
No.
And she goes to high school, and then like assassin come and try to kill her.
No, I don't.
Barely Lethal. Check it out. It's one of their movies. Anyway.
It's called Love Destiny.
No.
No.
Give me this thing.
No.
So once you set up, what are we talking about today?
Well,
what are you taking? Are you taking a gun? What are you taking? Back in time.
I don't know, man. It's too.
ROM time travel. You're the worst Googler ever. ROM time travel. What the hell's a ROM time travel?
Well, I tried to do rom-com and deleted com. I don't know. You have too many caveats, man. Like,
what do you mean you can't? They only take one thing.
Yeah, but you're like you could take a tank, but it doesn't have fuel. It just sits there. It has no ammunition.
I mean, if you can get to like fall on someone right soon, it teleports in.
Maybe to them just seeing tank would be impressive. But like, well, what does this do? What are we gonna do with this?
Smack them in the head with
figure out how to make it run.
Push them into it. I guess you could probably find. I mean, back in the day, there was. Wasn't that the fire? The Greek fire was like just oil that was bubbling up. Maybe you can jam some oil in there.
Yeah. What about
a popular show? How am I having a hard time firing this? Do something. This is Outlander. Look at this hunky boy right here.
Those are. I thought those.
Yeah.
That's a romantic show. I thought it was like a thriller kind of thing. Did you go like spies and stuff?
Oh.
No. All right.
Yeah, stars. Okay. Outlander. Look at that hunk. This is when you order though.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yes. All right. Once you we can get over this. So I would take back something. I would take a book back that's like How to Farm Better or something. If it's going back to the Middle Ages, or if it's going back later, investments, or
bring a map
of the world.
Yeah, just blow people's minds.
Yeah, they wouldn't believe you.
Yeah,
they call you a ninja.
Get a ninja
or a witch. Look at this
ninja. I'd bring it. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say. Well, all right. Bring back a map to show, because like we're talking about like when seafaring became a big thing in Europe. Maybe be like, hey, look at all this land over you can take.
Oh yeah.
but it's going to cost you, but that'd be terrible because you're like, here, go conquer these people and like remove them from the land.
Just sneeze on them and be like, go talk to these other guys.
No, I was just saying, I'd want a map of where like all the big
gold deposits are, or like
oil deposits are,
and you buy up the land.
Yep.
Yeah, but then you're not going to survive long enough for them to actually extract it. Usually, like your family's like your great grandchildren get it.
But if I go back to like,
and then no, you're going back and staying there.
Oh, right. What if I just go back to like, when they start drilling for oil? Not necessarily back to the Middle Ages.
Well, then this isn't as fun. The reason I bring up Outlander is because she's a doctor, and she goes back and she's like, hey, we can do injections. And so she basically has to invent.
I thought the show was something completely different.
She has to invent like an injector thing.
Oh, wow.
And then someone like
a needle?
An evil guy breaks it. So they can't do injections to like help people.
Why does she go back?
She's a doc because she's in love with the guy.
No, but how does she get back? How?
She can travel back and forth using the will-o'-the-wisps.
Oh.
She basically, I think it's like she falls asleep at this like special monument or something. It's like a special space in Scotland.
How long was this show on for?
It's still on. New season's just coming out. 2014 is when it started.
Started in 2014?
Yeah.
Almost.
There was 2 or 3 years they didn't have during the pandemic. They didn't have any season. Okay. But like also, I think there was another break in there. But it's stars, and it's super popular. It's a super popular book series.
Okay.
Super popular show. It's extremely violent and sad. The first couple seasons, especially. And there's a lot of hanky panky.
Okay.
But like, literally every time those two are on the screen together, they're probably gonna do it. And then it's extremely violent. A lot of like bad things happen to people. Like, it's kind of like one that paints like that time in history, like 1700s, 1600s as like, oh wow, you really think things were bad.
Yeah.
Like you think things are bad now. Holy crap, you should see what goes on back then in the day.
Yeah.
Like you should see this crap.
Use some perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stop talking about terrible Star shows.
So wait, have you watched it?
I've watched some of it here and there. I get the basic gist of it. I've seen a season or two here or there, another season here or there. I ebb and flow.
Okay.
So what I would take back,
the needle.
I mean, yeah, like
and then fall in love.
Influenza vaccination. I don't know. I mean, people think you're a witch. They're gonna burn you.
Right.
There has to be something that, like a word. But then they'd be like, "This is the words of the devil." They're like, "Hey, you plant this stuff better." Really lose. I don't think you can actually win, unless you take back like a flamethrower. Then they still think you're a wizard.
Yeah.
You just have to get everybody on your side as soon as possible before that fuel runs out.
Yeah, because once it runs out, you're screwed.
There has to be something we're overlooking, like a house. Let's take my house back and like, don't come over here.
Done with the oil thing.
That cheeseburger. Like, check this stuff out. Who's a wizard now?
You're at McDonald's fries.
You're going back with oil, just like a drum of oil. There you go. See this stuff. Like, yeah, we got some. We don't even know what it's used for. Because it was just bubbling up on the surface. They didn't have any use for oil yet. If you're talking about the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
like, what are we talking about? The 1800s then maybe? Like go back and beat up Andrew Carnegie and steal his stuff.
Pistol whip him.
Yeah. Like a dummy. All right.
Like a taser.
Batteries run out.
Again, they think you're like a wizard or
yeah.
witch.
If you can create electricity, yeah, they're going to think you're a wizard. Oh, that's wizard. That's ninja wizard.
It's ninja wizard. All right. So today's mysteries are dealing with a John Doe. So
the John Doe? You found him?
Yeah.
The original John Doe.
John Doe.
Okay.
I wonder, now they said that. Cause
who was the John Doe?
Like, yeah, how'd that name even start? Was it an actual person named John Doe?
Oh, Johnny D.
Johnny D's. So this particular case, I mean, unfortunately nowadays, like there's a lot of that John Doe's things that happen, like when a body gets discovered, but usually it gets found out, like who this person was. But
I just Googled who was John Doe. I'm bad at Google too.
But in this case, no one knows who this person is still. All right.
So this is still to this day we don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
This is a story about a guy.
Yes.
Okay. Originally John Doe was a sham name.
Sham name.
Used to indicate any plaintiff in an action, injection, or legal act in civil court. Richard Rowe was the counterpart to indicate the defendant.
Oh.
Makes sense.
All right. So
useless information that we present to you.
This particular case is called the Somerton Man because of where this man was found. On Wednesday, December 1st, 1948, at 6:30 a.m., the body of an unidentified deceased man was discovered in Somerton Beach, Australia. This beach is not far from the city Adelaide, Australia. The body was discovered by John Lyons.
That's better than John Doe. John Lyons. That's a cool name.
Yeah. John Lyons finds the man laid reclined on his back, with his head resting on the seawall, legs crossed, suggesting that the death occurred during sleep. So Lyons is out for a walk. He sees a body along the beach, resting on the seawall, like sitting upright, head's kind of laid back against the seawall.
What's a seawall?
The wall by the sea.
I don't know if it was like a natural thing.
I think it can be. But I think I think it's usually a man-made kind of thing to like prevent flooding.
Okay.
His legs were crossed. He saw a half-smoked cigarette resting on the man's collar.
On his collar?
On his collar, like it's just like
okay
on his collar.
He didn't combust.
Didn't
combust.
combust.
On the combustion episode.
This man was estimated to be around 40 years old. He stood 5 feet 11 inches, had a robust build. Fair hair.
A bust build?
Robust
okay.
build. Fair hair with gray at the temples. hazel eyes, clean shaven, and wore a double-breasted coat, brown trousers, socks, shoes, and a brown knitted woolen pullover, white shirt with collar, and a red, white, and blue tie.
Nice. Oh, glory.
Yeah.
Would you want to be described as robust? Someone's going to describe you. They'd be like, would you want to say, he's a robust man?
I think that's kind of like a nice way of putting, like, possibly overweight.
Really?
Or
wouldn't it be rotund?
Rotund, yeah.
Oh, there's a rotund boy.
Maybe.
Wasn't robust means like you're busting with life? I don't know what robust. I just realized I don't know what robust means.
Yeah, now that you say it, like, would robust
plentiful?
Mean muscular, but wouldn't they just say muscular?
Or maybe they don't have the word yet. It is Australia?
Yeah, 1948.
Wasn't it a bunch of like, wasn't it still like prison people? Is that what the story is? Is that a wives' tale?
Prison people? I know.
Is it wives' tale or wives' tale?
Wives' tale. Yeah, right?
And was it prison people?
They were. I mean, it was originally a British colony for prisoners.
They just dumped them off there?
Yeah.
And then they were like,
Made them work.
Okay. But then when did they say, like, we're going to be a country? Did like enough get there? Did they be like, hey, man, there's like 1 billion of us now, and there's like 20 of you. Get out of here.
In time, they're like,
They just like, we're not going to be inmates? That doesn't make any sense.
We're not inmates anymore. No, I think in time, I don't know when it was made, a penal colony.
Because who was going to be like, I'm going to go live in Australia, this penal colony?
Nobody, but then there had to be people who like oversaw everything, so that meant they started having families and like started building, and like in time they're like, we're not all criminals. Let's have her, your own thing.
I mean, I would think Australia would be. I think if it wasn't so damn far away, I would love to go there because it just seems so awesome. Mm-hmm. Like Australia's like, okay, if you're gonna say like, okay, you're gonna live here. If you could say one place you want to live besides we've talked about this before. It was either an island, my own island. If I had to live in another country, Australia. If I was allowed, obviously they'd want me.
Right?
They wouldn't want me. But
that reminds me. So remember we talked about that guy who won that raffle?
Yeah.
He's still like running the place.
So you looked it up?
Yeah.
There's some random guy won it.
Yeah. He ran it and he's in on it with his friend. He was pretty young. I think he's like 20s or 30s, but he's still running the place.
Where's he from? America?
He's from Australia, actually.
Man, rad.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, it's in.
Our show's coming for us, man.
I think he's Australian. But yeah, he's still running it. He's like part of like is it Tahiti? This place was at
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Thank you. He's like part of like that town's council to like preserve it and like keep it going, and like he's kind of hands on with it.
Man, I mean, if you're just handing something like that,
still like I was looking like, oh, you can still book a stay there.
I would just make it my own house.
Yeah.
At that point, I guess I won't have any money.
Yeah.
Where am I going to work? Yeah. But like I was saying, like Australia just seems so awesome. Plus, you ever seen Bluey? That's from Australia.
Oh, right.
Bluey's a good show.
It would be cool.
Yeah. Have you been there? You've been everywhere else.
No, but I would be terrified about like the giant spiders, and like it's one of those things where like you have to kind of deal with that.
Oh, you're right.
Like the wildlife.
Yeah, no. Scorpion.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'd probably just jump in the ocean.
Alligators? Crocodiles are there? One of those? I
don't know. Oh. Is it like one of those things where like there's no elephants in Australia? Like one of those things? There's no elephants in Australia. Or it's like there's no elephants in Africa. It was like a saying like that. It's like, you know how there's
I don't know what you're talking about.
No lions in the Amazon, like oh gosh, I got my sayings all messed up.
So this is December 1st. This guy's found. He's wearing all these clothes at a beach.
Was there a giant spider on his face?
No, but this is summertime down under.
Summertime.
No, it's like that's their summer.
Okay,
December 1st is the first day of summer.
Oh, really?
This guy's wearing what's south of the equator? It's flip flop.
Oh, I can't live there. The toilets go the other way when you flush them.
Is that true?
I don't know. That. My dad told me that once. I was like, "You're dumb."
Is that you're dumb?
And he's probably right. I don't know. What the hell do I know?
So it's first day of summer. This guy's wearing like a full like suit on the beach.
I've seen you wear jeans on the beach.
Well, yeah.
Why is this weird?
I didn't know it was shorts, but I mean, people were wearing clothes like this back then. Like
Oh yeah, it's the 40s.
Like, they were like, you know, dressed decently when they go out. Or
you only had one.
But you're not going to sit at the, sit at the beach. So the previous day, Tuesday, November 30th at 7 p.m., Lyons was this guy. Lyons is the guy that originally discovered him. Previous day, Tuesday the 30th, Lyons and his wife were walking on Somerton Beach. Spot a well-dressed man reclining on the sand near a seawall, positioned about 20 yards away. Legs were extended and feet crossed. The couple witnessed the man raising and dropping his right arm, leading Lyons to suspect a possible intoxicated attempt at smoking.
Did he have knees or elbows? Was he like?
Well, maybe he didn't have elbows because his arm just dropped.
Okay,
so
he
can extend the cigarette to his mouth, maybe.
Oh, he was just like,
it's like I can't get it to my face. 30 minutes later, again, this is November 30th. 30 minutes later, another couple noticed the same man in the same posture, viewing him from above. The woman noted his impeccable suit, mirror-shined new shoes, seemingly out of place for the beach.
It's not like this is a homeless guy.
No.
Because he's dressed nicely.
Right.
Nice shoes.
Yes.
And he's just hanging on the beach.
Hanging on the beach. Motionless, his left arm spread on the sand. The couple concluded he was merely asleep, unfazed by mosquitoes around his face. Again, we're dealing with someone finding bodies, possibly dead people. It's like, they're just drunk.
I mean, these mosquitoes could be like pterodactyls.
That's
like
true.
that's
In Australia,
yeah.
They're huge. All right, so back to December 1st. Lyons was the first guy to discover this body. He goes out for a swim. He sees this possibly drunk man, again, still sitting there because he saw him the night before, against the seawall in the exact same position. He goes up and is like, oh, this guy's clearly dead. He saw this man possibly the day before moving, sitting in the same spot.
So he hasn't moved?
He hasn't moved.
Since the last time you saw him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So an autopsy is done 3 hours later. It discovers within his pockets, this man's pockets, there's a previously used bus ticket originating from Adelaide.
And this is, how far away is this from Adelaide?
Somerton Beach, about 9 miles away.
Okay.
There's also an untouched second-class train ticket bound for the nearby Henley Beach, which is 8 miles from Somerton. Slim aluminum American-made comb. A partially consumed pack of juicy fruit, which is one of the worst gums ever.
For like the first 10 seconds, it's delicious.
It's amazing. They're just like, it's terrible.
Yeah, after that, you just got to spit that whole wad out. Your jaw hurts. You're like, it's so good for 3.5 seconds.
A cigarette packet labeled Army Club, but it contained a different brand of cigarettes. It was Army brand cigarettes, but didn't have that type of cigarettes in the pack. It was a different brand of cigarettes completely. A box of Bryant and May matches filled about a quarter of its capacity. Despite the thorough search of his pockets, no documents or identifying items were found. Also, it was clear the labels from his clothes had been removed. One part of his pants had been repaired with an unusual orange thread not made in Australia.
How do they know that? You don't make orange down there?
They don't have orange. There's no color orange.
Oh, yeah. Orange wasn't invented in Australia yet.
I don't know.
It came later.
I don't know how they would know that, but these are.
It wasn't until the 60s they brought orange down. Yeah. They imported it.
Yeah. The labels were removed from his clothes.
Did they have, the 40s, did they have labels?
Yeah. They weren't like ours were like, they had like
Nike across it.
branded on the front, like, it's funny as I was
Hugo Boss, like.
It's funny as I was doing this, Kelly was watching a documentary about Abercrombie and Fitch.
Okay.
I was like,
was it about the guy, like how they only hired like cute people?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that was the thing. I remember that. But like, it just was funny
It's
because
the best part of the mall when I was in high school.
But like back then, they didn't have like things slapped on the front. But the fact that the labels were removed, are like, where's this guy from? Where did he get his clothes from? The labels are removed. You don't know where these clothes are made.
Oh, way to trace them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like even then, it could have been handed down. It could have been made. It could have been handmade.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I'm no seamstress.
But he's like,
wink.
everyone kept saying he's like very well dressed.
Wait, what would be the masculine form of seamstress? Seamster?
Seamster, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Look at you.
Look at me. Putting words together.
I just made it up and it's right.
Seamster. That seemed so wrong. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I ever said.
I think that's it.
We're probably both wrong. Comments.
The doctor doing the autopsy put the time of his death around 2 a.m.
Ooh, a rough time to die.
That he died from heart failure, possibly from poisoning. His spleen was 3 times the average size.
Oh, you don't want to explain like that.
No.
What's the spleen do?
No idea. I was like, that's funny.
What's the point? It's one of those things.
As soon as I was like, read that, I was like, I should figure out what a spleen does. Like,
Yeah.
totally forgot to do that. Blood was in his stomach, indicating poisoning, along with the remains of his last meal, a pasty.
What's a pasty? What?
Apparently, it's a baked pastry stuffed with like meat or vegetables.
Ooh, can't eat it, but delicious. Sounds great.
That was his last meal. It was determined,
Was
though.
it a pastry and you just read it wrong?
No, I remember I was like, oh, I wrote in there as pasty. And I was like, I should probably look that up and see what it actually is. And it's a pastry baked with baked and stuffed with meat or vegetables. It seems like a smaller what are the pies that have like
Meat pies?
Yeah.
Chicken pot pie?
Chicken pot pie, yeah. But it's like a handheld one.
I love
So
chicken pot pies.
Marie Candler, man.
Love them.
Woo.
But
You not eat them.
yeah, they all have dairy in them. It's
Oh,
like the
right,
base
yeah.
of it. There's like some companies that sell like dairy-free ones. If you want to send them my way, they're so expensive. And like they're probably anything that's you're like, oh, we got dairy-free cheese. Like, it probably tastes like garbage.
Yeah.
Like it's the alternative crap that people have. None of it's good. None of it.
No good.
Milk and beef. There's no substitute for milk and beef. You can slap all kind of crap on that, whatever you want. It's not. There's nothing comparable. It's in our world right now. Unless you can shoot something in my brain, like put an electrode in there. It's like, here, taste this. Like it's.
Tried one time like dairy-free ice cream or something like that.
Well, but if there's ice cream, there's lactate ice cream, which they
Oh.
put the lactose enzyme in it. It is real ice cream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm
I don't
not.
think I had that.
I can't. I'm not lactose intolerant. I'm allergic to dairy. I'm allergic to
Oh.
something in dairy, so I can't even have that.
Yum.
So it's sick.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, a spleen, it's a part of your immune system. You can survive without it.
Yeah.
The liver does it.
the liver does it.
Yeah, it does the same stuff, I
What's
guess.
something that we don't even really need anymore? The appendix? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really hear about people getting their appendix off anymore. Appendix out anymore. It's a blood filter, so it's the same thing as the liver, I guess.
Okay.
The more you know.
It was
Yay.
determined that he didn't die from his food being poisoned, though. Unfortunately, an expert chemist couldn't find any trace of poison in the man's blood or organs.
It
Even-
wasn't poisoning.
Yeah, so even though he was internal bleeding, it was believed it was poison, but then the fact that his chemist couldn't find any trace of poisoning.
It's prison doctors. I don't know about them. Prisoner doctors.
It was theorized that if it was an actual poisoning, it had to be in a rare poison that perhaps came from an African plant that Somalian tribe uses in poison arrows.
Like Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the darts.
Did you hear about the devil's breath, that like drug?
No.
There's a documentary about it. It's like this tree or something that it's like this thing from a tree that grows in like Colombia or something. It's like a Vice documentary, I think. And it apparently is like some of the worst stuff on the planet. And it's just like grows in neighborhoods. And if you take it and like crush it up or something and put it in someone's drink, basically they're like totally coherent, but they don't remember a single thing. So people will like, I don't know if it's like Colombia or it's a South American country.
Okay.
And it grows naturally there. I don't know if they eradicated it or something because it is so bad. But like, it's super illegal apparently to like turn into the drug form of it or something. But you can drug someone with it, and it's like I guess we would have like roofies here, but like they're totally coherent. Like they're totally walking around like everything's okay, so people believe that they're fine, but then they don't remember anything.
Oh, geez.
So you can get them like in the example given is like drain your bank account. Give me all your money.
Man.
And so they show videos of people just like walking up, taking all the money, and giving it to this guy, and the guy walks away because he got drugged at a bar.
Where's this come from?
South America.
But like comes from like
A
plant?
tree. It's like it grows on a tree. It was called the Devil's Breath.
It's terrifying.
And that's one of those fake documentaries, but I mean, I watched years ago. I was like, this is really weird. Why would they allow this to happen? But just Google it if you're out there.
His fingerprints were taken and spread throughout not only Australia but a large portion of the world.
Wait, who? His fingerprints were taken and they sent him out.
Yeah, the police were like, "Hey,
APB.
we need to identify." So this is what's crazy to me. Like, 'cause usually, like John Does nowadays, they eventually do get figure out who they are. Now we have better technology now, of course, but
DNA evidence.
Sure. But this man, like, what he had on him, including what he didn't have on him, like identification stuff like that, makes it a little interesting. That he was seen possibly before moving, but in like a weird manner.
Did he get robbed?
I don't know.
I think it seems like someone. I don't want to jump ahead. Of someone like stuck him, you know, and then took all his money and left.
So I thought that might be a possibility, but apparently, like this area during this time was like the crime rate was like very, very low.
Yeah, the prison colonies. Yeah, no crime rate.
But even like
the prisoners,
even the homicide rate was like extremely low, but it still happened. Like it's not like this perfect place. Prison colony where no one
seems like we should just move to Australia, except for the bugs. We have flamethrower the bugs.
So yeah,
man, I hate bugs. I hate bugs.
Dude, like some of the things I've seen on there, like on the internet, like I bet this is Australia. Like, yep, it's Australia. Like bugs and stuff like that. Well, otherwise, I think it'd be cool as hell to live there.
No, it'd be awesome. It looks so cool.
Yeah. Like, I think
Finding Nemo was there.
New Zealand might be better because they don't have the crazy bugs like Australia does.
Yeah, but seems too open there.
Seems too
Wild West over there. Got that Jackson guy wandering around making hobbits.
making hobbits. He's like, you're a hobbit. You're welcome.
Oh, that one guy you talked about that one episode?
Huh?
From Deep Impact.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're making hobbits.
I don't know what he's doing.
You're a hobbit. You're a hobbit.
Yeah, you don't know. It's New Zealand. It's like a magical land.
Yeah. So you got fingerprints. They're spreading around Australia, other parts of the world. Nothing comes back. Like there's no like that kind of identification doesn't come back. Police also brought in people from all around Adelaide in attempts to identify the man. Nothing came from that either.
So this is Australia right after World War II. Were they involved?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you got a bunch of prisoners. Of course, you want to be involved. But were they?
They're allies. Yeah.
Right, I don't want to be. I don't want to be rooting for these. I don't rooting for the bad
guys. Someone noted I don't know if it was the one of the detectives or like the person doing an autopsy or something like that. The man's calf muscles were extremely muscular, unusually so. That only like something like a ballet dancer might have.
Cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have, I could never ballet.
No, it
seems terrible, like terribly tough,
yeah.
Like so incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But if this guy can do it, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dead, but he obviously wasn't very good at it.
Right. But yeah, he's dead. This is 1948. Like this is the Cold War now.
Ooh.
So ballet was big in.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, ballet was big in the USSR. So
spy.
Mm.
Wait. Who was Australia? What side was Australia on for the Cold War?
Oh, like the West.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
This just sounded like a great place to live.
So not far from here are like two big, what would be the term? Like secret.
Spiders.
Apparently not too far from where are like two big English or British secret bases for doing like different kinds of things.
You mean at the time or now?
At the time, yeah.
I know they're like heavily involved in what was going on with Snowden, like cybersecurity across the world.
Okay.
They're really allied with us with that. There's like a big installation there.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that. But December 1st, this man's found. They go figure all this stuff out. Like they looked at his body and all that stuff. Not until January 12th, suitcase was discovered at Adelaide's train station that possibly belonged to the man.
How could they connect that?
Well, possibly. So among the belongings in this suitcase, the dressing gown, slippers.
Oh, wait, a dress?
Like a dressing gown, like PJs.
Nighttime wear?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. with like the long hat. Why do they wear those?
I don't know. I don't think they were doing long hats back then.
But like, what's the point of wearing a hat? It's just to keep the heat
when you
in.
go to bed. Yeah.
I don't want to wear a hat at night.
I
Drive me
wouldn't
nuts.
want to either. You wear socks?
Yes.
I can't.
I
can't. I'll tuck my feet in, but
my feet get too cold and dried.
Yeah.
No, listen to this. This is weird. Right now, if you touch my hands or my feet, they're ice blocks. This has been like...
Yeah, I don't like my feet being cold, but like when I sleep, I can't wear
mine
socks.
physically will hurt you. Like I had to... Well, one of my kids, my daughter, my first kid was a baby. My hands were so cold at night when I was changing her diaper that I put gloves on. Because my wife was like, "You're gonna hurt her. Put gloves on." So I used to have baby changing gloves.
Okay.
I put gloves on,
like latex gloves.
No,
like glove gloves.
You wear outside, like not like snow gloves, but like those like black ones that are just like warming. So like I don't want to make her because she's a baby.
Yeah.
And so I would wear those. Even my wife's like, "Your hands are freezing. Don't touch me." Like it's like terrible.
Yeah, Kelly's hands are like that.
My feet actually hurt because they're so cold.
Do you ever do your hands ever lose like coloring and you like run them under like hot water to get them back?
No, I don't know. I kind of just live with it. But when I was in high school, I remember. So no. Here's the other thing. I lay down, everything gets hot. You get like burning hot.
But your feet are so cold?
No.
Oh.
They get really hot. And then they feel like they're dry. So I used to put them on my window at night when it was cold out to like cool them down.
Did you get sick all the time because of that?
I had a waterbed. Remember we talked about that?
Right, yeah.
The hellscape. That's probably why I can't eat dairy. Stupid thing. Yeah, I have this. It's called Raynaud's disease, Raynaud's syndrome. I don't know, some stupid thing my doctor told me I had, and like it's just basically your blood vessels in your hands and feet are small and not well developed or something.
Oh, I don't know that's what Kelly has.
And so they give you this stuff. It's nitroglycerin, and you put it on your hands and feet, and it makes those things open up, and it makes it hot.
Did you use it?
Yeah, I have it. I always forget to put it on, but you put it on, and it like you don't want to have like you can't have like kids touch, like it's like bad to like touch, like get into your skin, like for people who don't need it.
Yeah,
especially if, like pregnant people.
Oh,
but
right,
like
yeah.
they give you special
nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
What?
It's like a form. I don't know if it's a form. But it's called nitroglycerin. It's like it's on there. It says nitroglycerin, but like it makes your blood vessels like open up.
Wow.
And it's like, and so it makes it hot, so the blood can get in your feet and hands. So when I first started using it, my doctor was like, "Yeah, just put this on." And it comes with this like basically this like notebook of like these pages. Like it's really weird. It's like this thing, and so I didn't read the directions. Like whatever. So I just put this stuff on like my feet, put my socks on, and then like all my socks have like these stains on them now. And it was like working. It's like this stuff sucks. And then like one day I read the directions, and like you have to use these pieces of paper, and you put like on the paper, you put stuff on, and you put that on your skin, and it starts to be absorbed into the fabric.
Okay.
And it actually works. So when I started doing that, my feet were like burning up.
Really?
Yeah. You're supposed to put it on your hands too, but I look like a weirdo, so I don't do that. But it's super effective. It's called Raynaud's disease or Raynaud's syndrome, one of the two.
So wait, sorry, do you still use it?
I have it upstairs. I remember to put it on. Like right now, my feet. I get made fun of because I wear like 2 or 3 pairs of socks every time I go out. Especially in the winter. In the summer, it's fine, but like in the winter.
What if you just get like I don't know, like wool socks? Will that help?
Oh, but they seem expensive.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I have sleep socks.
Sleep socks.
And I have daytime socks, work socks. Like I have very specific socks.
Dude,
I'm very complicated.
Can't eat certain things. That's gotta be tough, Chris.
I got like a I first should cut all that out. But anyway, Somerton Man.
Somerton Man, yeah. So in this suitcase, they find a dressing gown.
Wait, where were we going with that?
Huh?
Where was I going with that?
I have no idea. Start with your. Oh yeah. So these PJs, and you're like, oh, do they have like the hat?
Oh yeah. Why would people wear hats?
It's because they're cold.
Is that what it is? Just keep the heat in?
Yeah.
Is it like the same reason why you use outside, like when you're doing stud riding and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd imagine, yeah. Because they didn't have like furnaces in their house.
Oh yeah. That's why they might
have a fireplace, but then it might not be close to it.
Who wants to put wood in it like every night?
Yeah.
It's so Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, go ahead.
So in the suitcase, they find a dressing gown, slippers, 4 ties, stenciling equipment, screwdriver, a table knife with its handle cut down, orange wax thread.
Oh, he brought orange with him.
That was the same thread that was found in his pants. That was like
Orange wasn't invented yet. Yeah.
All the tags were removed from the clothing. One of the ties was handwritten with the name, or with this T, like the letter T, Keane. Keane. Handwritten on the tie.
T. Kane?
T. Kane, yeah. Like T. Keane.
T. Kane.
Yeah, like someone's name.
T-Pain?
T-Pain. At the time, this name turned out to be inconclusive. It didn't lead to anything at the time. No employees at the train station could recall who the suitcase belonged to, only that it was deposited in the coat room on November 30th, the day before the body found. Man's body is found. So they're assuming this belongs to the Somerton Man, the unknown man on the beach.
Because no one else ever came and picked it up.
No.
Okay.
And the fact that it was the same orange thread that was used in his pants.
Okay. Some good old-fashioned detective work right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Look at those prisoners getting it done.
This was in January. In April, a pathologist was brought in to re-examine the body because there was like, we have to figure out who this person is. Pathologist stumbles upon a hidden pocket in the man's pants.
Yes. I need to put some more hidden pockets in my pants.
I think it was like in his waistband.
I would just have like Sour Patch Kids in there though. It'd be like the only thing in my hidden pockets.
In the pocket was a torn piece of paper with the words Tamám Shud. This is translated from Persian, Iranian, which means ended or finished.
That was written on it?
It was written on it, yeah. Torn piece of paper.
And it was in his secret pocket.
In his secret pocket.
Okay, so they found this in his pants that he had on?
Yep. Okay. It wasn't found until several months later after his body was originally discovered and exhumed or looked at, autopsied.
So they just had like him on ice.
Yeah.
They brought him out. They're like, okay, we're going to continue working on this. Rip his clothes off. So like they went through his clothes and actually started looking for any type of like
some kind of identification, some kind of lead.
And how did they just found the secret? Was it
they brought in a pathologist, re-examined the body, and upon looking, they found this hidden pocket in his pants.
Okay.
Yep.
Again,
with a piece of paper. This is Tamám Shud.
Tamám Shud. Okay.
Which means ended or finished. It's discovered that this piece of paper, the saying on it, from a Persian book of poetry called the Rubaiyat. I don't know if I'm saying that. Rubaiyat, thank you.
Rubaiyat.
Rubaiyat.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Which means 4-line poems by Omar Khayyam, who's around from 1048 to like 1131.
Okay, so this piece of paper, did he write on it or was it from the book?
It's from the
printed?
Book. It's from the book, yeah. Apparently this book became super popular. It was translated in over 70 different languages and had over 2,000 editions of it published. It deals with life, mortality.
It's poetry?
Yeah, and Islamic mysticism.
So if you're going to, we've talked on this show a lot of time about literature.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't interest me. I'm not good at it. You want to go ahead and say, bring up poetry? That's like
bottom
that's like below literature. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Think some of it's cool, but couldn't care less. Yeah. It's like poetry is one of those things. Like a lot of work. And the people that
like hitting meetings in it and like, come on.
Yeah, I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you mean, dog.
So this book is from the 12th century. It was translated in English famously by Edward Fitzgerald for the mid-19th century.
Edward or Edmund?
Edward Fitzgerald. No relation to F. Scott Fitzgerald.
That's the guy who wrote Tom's Bursting in Air.
I know you did The Great Gatsby.
Who's the guy who wrote the Bombs bursting in air, smooth song.
So F. Scott Fitzgerald is named after that guy.
Okay.
He's a different relative of Francis Scott Key.
Francis Scott Key.
Yeah. So F. Scott Fitzgerald is actually named Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald.
Who's Edmund Fitzgerald?
Edward Fitzgerald is some different.
Well,
guy.
who's Edmund Fitzgerald?
Oh, he was.
It's a beer.
It's a beer. It's a ship.
Okay.
That sank.
That wasn't a guy.
Yeah, that sank. Yeah, it disappeared in one of the Great Lakes. Oh,
future episode.
Yeah.
Nice. Stay tuned.
So yeah, this book is about poetry, or it is poetry, but it's about like life, meaning of life, mortality,
mysticism,
Islamic mysticism. But this is from the last word and the last page of this book. It's discovered. So, two things. Where's the rest of this book?
That specific book?
That one, like where's this book that like it clearly came from a book, is ripped out. Does this mean that he committed suicide? It says ended or finished. Like, does this mean like he committed suicide or something?
Why would he put it in a secret pocket?
I don't know.
When he just like laid it right out there?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Or did someone kill him and be like, all right, it's finished?
But why would they put it in a secret pocket?
I don't know.
This seems like that secret pocket is for him. Like, did the guy like have time to seamster a hidden pocket in there?
Well, no, it wasn't. Apparently, these pockets were kind of a common thing for like pocket watches.
Oh, one of those pockets. So it wasn't a hidden pocket. It was just a special pocket.
I think they're called fob pockets.
It's like the pockets on like jeans that we have now that are like those little small ones that.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe yeah, but it was like inside. They were like inside the waistband, like on the inside of it.
I always get stuff caught in there. I'm like, what the hell? Why would they make that?
I don't understand the point of those.
Dummies.
Like I could put a coin in here and not be able to get it out.
Never get it out again. I rip it.
What do you think happened to this guy at this point? He's found. All his label, checking all his clothes.
I think he's a spy. I want to say he's a spy.
Okay.
I don't know why he's spying in Australia, but there's probably a lot of spies out there.
Sure.
Even today.
I mean, it's Cold War.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this is still the beginning of the Cold War. Do you think it's really spread that far, that fast?
I do, because I know during World War II, like we weren't really like we kind of were allies with the Russians, but we didn't trust them
out of
with
necessity.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, out of necessity. Yeah.
Okay, I think
like, especially with the idea they're communists too. Like that was like a huge no.
Well, I like that whole Soviet era like history. It really always interests me.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, like the artwork, just all the things going on then, like all the spy stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of amazing articles about like spies that were like in America. They were like, they kind of just dropped us off. Like it wasn't really organized. Like spies aren't like organized as well as you think they are.
Yeah, wasn't there a Russian spy at the Manhattan Project?
I'm sure there was tons of them. I'm sure it was always a thing. The same way Americans had spies everywhere else. We still do.
Right.
It's like everybody's doing it.
So the police think because of this paper that was found, that it's possibly a suicide. But then they also begin to look for the exact book that this piece of paper came from, like that exact book, or the exact.
They have like a path now.
Yeah. But they also decide they need to have the body embalmed at this point because it's been several months since he's just been laying there dead.
It's just falling apart.
So
Sir, can you get this off the beach, please?
Still at the beach.
My kids want to go swimming, please.
Birds are just pecking out his eyes.
Stinking over here.
So the police decide to have him embalmed, but they also make a cast of his head and torso before having him buried. So I think like it seems like they're kind of doing the right stuff here,
I think it's probably a matter of national security now. Because of all these, like,
oh, definitely, yeah, for sure.
So now if they need to know who it is,
sure. I didn't think about that, like a national security kind of thing.
Probably why, they're really pursuing it. If it was just some guy with like, oh, he had some old Navy clothes on, and like, just push him into the ocean. I don't want to deal with this today. I got this other guy over here. There's nothing on him. Like,
this guy's wearing Birkenstocks. Throw him in the ocean.
Just push him. Just roll him over there. So get the tide will take him out.
The seashell
puka necklace or whatever they call it. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I think so. So they don't have much luck with anything. The police don't until July 1949. So like this happens December 1st, 1948. But in July of 1949, a man from Adelaide goes up at the police station with a surprise.
Wait, did he come for a suitcase?
What's that?
Did he come for a suitcase?
Nope. He had a copy of the Rubaiyat with a missing piece of paper in the back.
He did it on the car ride over. He's a dick. Don't listen to this guy.
I do think it's kind of interesting. The police don't give names of witnesses. Like they chose not to. Then some of them, one in particular, is like, "Don't tell anyone my name," and the police like respected that.
Want to be anonymous? Yeah,
Right,
now.
Yeah. But so this man and his brother-in-law, this man that shows up is like, "Hey, I have this book with a missing piece of paper in the back of it." Him and his brother-in-law in December, just after the body was found, went on a drive. His car was parked near Somerton Beach. Both saw the random book, but both had assumed it belonged to the other. So it was in their car. Like, oh, where does this book come from?
In their car?
Yeah, it was in the man's car, and the brother-in-law came with him, and he's like, "Oh, wait, there's a book here." They're both like, "This book's here, but like must belong to the other guy." So neither like thinking that like they don't ask.
So you're trying to say that someone threw it in there, put it in there, in their car?
Yes.
Okay.
But both at the time were just like, "Oh, it belongs to the other guy that we're in the car. I'm in the car with." But it wasn't until they saw in the newspaper about the Tamám Shud that they talked and realized it was neither of their book, and decided to take a look at it and discovered it was missing the final page.
That was one of those things like in the movies where they like put it and they're like dun 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 dun, and it fits like directly in there, or is it like this isn't even close, like a puzzle piece?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm guessing since they brought it up, it has to be if it's part of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
A detective took the book under a magnifying glass and discovered a phone number. This is the book that this guy brought in, had a missing piece.
A phone number?
Had a phone number.
Wait, is it 40s though? Phone numbers.
Yeah.
Can you call international? I'm wondering if this phone number is just for Australia. But I'm just trying to point like, if this is a spy,
yeah,
is he able to? Is his number like they can pick it up? They're like, USSR here, you know, like Soviet Union, sir.
Espionage command.
Yeah.
USSR here. What have you stolen for us?
What kind of secrets do they have on there,
yeah.
Jolly boy?
It would have to be a local, right?
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. I think it would have to be.
Whenever I was in Australia in the 1940s, it wasn't like that.
So yeah, but it's so small it's only found with a magnifying glass.
Wow, you imagine a pencil used to get it back then.
So yeah, like it was clear like some kind of like
that's what I'm saying. It's a spy.
Thought was put into that, right?
Secrets.
Yes.
But why would he? Why would you put your phone number in there and throw it into someone else's car? If you're a spy.
Yeah, it was also an unlisted number, but the police were able to find that it belonged to a nurse who lived near Somerton Beach.
Oh, she's dead. USSR here. Kill the nurse. Kill the nurse, please.
The nurse, her name's Jessica Thompson. That's how we spelled, but it's Thompson. She tells police not to release her name. What's the name?
Too bad.
Yeah. It was fine. It wasn't found out until like 2007 who this woman's actual name was.
She's still alive?
She died in 2007. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Shortly before 2007. She says she gave a copy of the book to a man she knew during World War II. A man by the name of Alfred Boxall.
Alfred, Soviet Union spy, Boxall.
The police are like, "Oh, great, we got a name for this guy, possibly, right?
Yeah,
got a breakthrough." And unfortunately,
don't tell me that Alfred Boxall's like, "I'm right here, sir."
So fortunately,
what?
Not only was Alfred still alive, but he had a copy of the rubaiyat he received from that nurse. That back page was still intact. His copy
back page
was still intact. He even had a handwritten inscription from the nurse in it, directed to him.
But her number was in the other book.
Yes. Like, what the hell?
Is this like the thing where like two twins get separated at birth and they have like a necklace and they put it together? And
it's like it's
shows
a heart
where the gold is. Yeah.
This guy's still alive. But on a side note here, Alfred Boxall worked in intelligence during World War II.
For Australia?
Yeah. For the British government.
British government.
Yeah.
What? British government?
Well,
or Australia.
Well, I mean, it would have been the same thing, I would assume. It would have been Australian, but like they're kind of under still to this day. They're still like under the British umbrella. They're independent.
That lady who
they have their own government, but yeah, they're like still part of that.
The Queen Lady.
Yeah, the Queen Lady that died.
She seemed very nice.
Yeah. So the people's like, all right, we need to question this nurse again. And she all of a sudden recalls that the previous year, the date of which she can't remember, she remembers upon coming home, her neighbor said an unknown man came around asking for her. These neighbors didn't recognize her. She was at work. Neighbor's like, hey, this guy came around asking for you. We don't recognize him, but she wasn't home. So they're like, all right, we're taking this nurse and we're going to show her this death mask we made of the unknown man found at the beach.
Death mask?
Death mask, like, you know, when they, or
it seems like, hey, lady, can you check out this death mask? Like, no.
Upon doing so, she almost faints. The detective at the time was like, she almost faints. It seems like as if she knew who this man was. Like, startled, like, oh.
The vapors. The heavens.
The vapors. But she claims she didn't recognize who that man was. And she
just show me a death mask. Of course you're going to be like,
right. And she refused to look at it again. The detective was like, this seems like this woman knows who this guy would have been.
Okay. So she doesn't know him.
Doesn't know him, yeah.
But what about that other guy? Did he know the nurse?
Yep.
Okay.
The Boxel guy, yeah, he's like, yeah, he got this book from her.
Okay. But his book
had the last page, the last piece of that last page intact.
Like a movie. Like this is like
it's really weird, man. I remember like this came up on like so many lists when like I try to come up with ideas and I'm like, okay, it's just another, unknown body, but I'm like, I started looking into it and I'm just like, oh, there's some really weird stuff going on here. They come to a dead end. I'm like, okay, let's relook at this book again. I don't know how they decide to do this, but they look at it underneath the ultraviolet light. And upon doing so, they find what appears to be some sort of code. I don't know how I can like do this because it's like kind of weird.
Russian, yeah, Soviet Union code. It's like Rushy 124.
This is our phone number.
Yeah.
The KGB.
Yeah, KGB office 2.
1-800-KGB.
Yeah.
Under ultraviolet light. So why did they decide to use this on the book, but why this would be on there and only noticeable under ultraviolet light is really weird.
They probably just like partying. They're like, look at this book we got from work.
There's 5 rows of random letters that are put together. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. It's easier to be seen, but I'm going to try to explain this
I can put it on the screen. Right?
That's true, yeah. So the first row, there's the letters.
Magic of movies.
There's the letters, and these are all English letters. WRGOABABD.
Wait. These are English
letters, yeah.
But
they don't they don't seem to be spelling anything though.
But like, I guess it goes back to the spy thing.
Yeah.
If it was like a Russian, do they use different?
They use different symbols, but they also could have been like a way for the Russians
to hide. Right.
Hide
okay.
it,
Yeah.
So that's the first row. The second row has the letters MLIAOI, but it's crossed out. Third row, WTBIMPANETP. There's like a space with an X that's crossed out. And then there's 2 more rows of random letters again, all English letters. They're like, okay, this has to be some kind of code. Maybe he's a Cold War spy. What is he like acronyms for something? Are these like lead to something?
The battleship. That's like he's playing battleship.
So they actually send it to the Navy. This code, like, do you guys this Australian Navy? Like,
sense,
does this make any sense to you guys? They're like, nope. They get it printed out in all the newspapers in Australia. Maybe like some amateur person at home who's a code interested in stuff like this. Nothing really comes from that. There's been theories thrown out there. I'll go over one of them later about what one of these rows of letters might mean, but there's been no clear decipher what this stuff is, even to this day. So over the years, flowers would appear at the man's grave. They did bury him. Remember they took that cast of him.
Yeah. Did they put that as like his marker? Like if you walk up, they're like, oh my God.
I think I'm sure I can remember what it says on the gravestone. Anyways, so they're like, oh,
if you know this guy, call 1-800, like, please help. Like,
so they keep, police are like, they get reports that the flowers are still being put as this guy's grave over the years. So like, maybe we should go check this out. Then they saw a woman one time dropping off flowers and like, why are you doing this? She's like, I don't know. Like, do you know this man? She's like, no clue who it is, but I just want to pay my respects.
He's lying. Sean Lyons.
That's
Was that guy?
Yeah. John Lyons, yeah. I don't know how this happened, but the suitcase was destroyed. That suitcase that they found was destroyed in 1986. And some of the witness statements have since disappeared.
That was just someone cleaning out a closet. They're like, come on.
Get rid of some of this. It's like that guy that found, the professor that's found the jar of meat in
Oh,
Kentucky.
yeah.
It's like, no, I don't need this.
They took, well, you don't understand. You didn't miss the part where they take that suitcase and make jelly beans out of it.
This tastes like orange thread.
Yeah. That's how they discovered orange thread. And orange soda.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We should get some orange soda. Mysterious sodas.
Mysterious sodas.
It's either grape or orange. And you're like, yay or nah.
It's like, look at the color.
Look at the grape. Ooh, grape. Ooh.
And then also much of the man's DNA has been destroyed by the formaldehyde that was used in the embalming.
Of course.
Yeah.
How convenient. So there's no way to get DNA at this point.
There is, and I'll go over it in 1 second, but at this point, like, that's it. That's all, like, the police know during that time. Like, they would get phone calls from being like, hey, that guy looks like a friend of mine, or this guy looks like a guy I worked with, but nothing significant or nothing substantial happened. We're like, oh, we know this guy is, like, really good leads as far as, like, who this man is that was found at the beach.
That's how I want to go out. If you're just put me on a beach somewhere or about my tags.
And there was a family who's like, I think 12 or like 17 miles away. This woman's husband and son went missing. They were found on a beach, at a different beach. Like, again, it's like 17 miles away. The son was like, I can tell, was found in a bag. They don't know how he died. The husband was still alive. Sorry, the husband died, but the husband was still alive. Anyways, like a series of events, the mother and husband to this boy who died, and the husband thinks that the man who did this to her husband and her kid was possibly the guy that they found on the beach.
Somerton Man.
Yeah.
They think the Somerton Man may have murdered someone else.
Yeah.
And then he cut all his tags out and wrote some
weird.
Yeah.
Put the thing in there, but I don't know why that, like, why would he be dead then all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I guess the police were getting like strange calls saying like certain things. I don't know. There's also things like, oh yeah, like I said, like this looks like a guy I know, or this looks like someone I used to work with, but nothing significant happened. But there was a retired police detective. This is started in like the 2000s. He worked in Adelaide, I believe, in Australia. His name's Gary Feltus, or it might be Jerry. It's Gerry. Is that Gary or Jerry? Jerry.
Jerry
Feltus wrote a book on the case called The Unknown Man, A Suspicious Death at Somerton Beach, published in 2017. He found an eyewitness account that was taken in 1959.
There was a record like that no one ever discovered.
That he just like somehow came across. He was like, the police gave him permission to like go through records, and
they burned the suitcase, gave him all the rest of the stuff. Like, get this garbage out of here.
So this was taken in 1959, so 11 years after the man was discovered. This witness claimed to have been on the beach that day. He claims to have seen an unidentified man carrying another unidentified man.
Wait, carrying another man?
Over his shoulder on the beach the same night the man was believed to have died. He sees this guy. It's November 30th, going into December 1st. I think the coroner or the guy that did the autopsy is like, this guy down around 2 a.m. This guy was out on November 30th, this witness, that he saw a man carrying another man over his shoulder along the beach. He's just like, oh, maybe it's just, at the time he's like, maybe it's just a friend helping another drunk friend out. So possibly that might have been someone who poisoned the Somerton Man, unknown guy.
Did he have like alcohol poisoning?
No.
Okay.
And then was putting his body there. That's something.
That's a witness statement, right?
Just one, yeah.
Okay.
But it would have been late. I mean,
right.
Not many
the
people
weird
would have
guy.
been out, yeah.
Here's the weirdo sitting on the beach watching other guys.
So he also Jerry also Feltus also believes that the last line of code might stand for. So the last line of code was ITTMTSAMS. He thinks it stood for, it's time to move to South Australia, Mosley Street, which is where that nurse Jessica lived.
That's so convenient.
Feltus actually interviewed Jessica Thompson and believed that she knew something because she was very evasive when asked questions about the mysterious man. Anytime like this gained national or like international attention over the years, she would just disappear, go on vacation, just like not answer the phone, or like no one would see or hear from her. So he's saying maybe she knows something, or maybe she's just like, I'm done dealing with this. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Like,
Obviously knows something.
yeah.
It's so convenient that she just like it. Obviously knows something. If it was nothing, she'd be like, "This, I have no idea. Leave me alone." Like,
Right.
But she's not. She's just saying like, it wouldn't affect you that much if it was someone that you didn't know. It wouldn't even if it was like, I don't know. You wouldn't be affected that much, or you have to like completely shut down or leave.
Yeah. But maybe she's just like, at this point, she's just tired of like
Answering the question.
But like, because this is many people like, amateur sleuths or stuff like that. They're just like, sure, probably found out who she was at this point.
Oh, she's probably getting bombarded.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want to deal with it.
I mean,
she's just like,
how old is she now?
she's dead now. She died in 2007.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
But also like no one knew her actual name for a very long time too. So like, was she being bombarded really then?
Yeah, because you're saying that she left every time it came up. Was it just investigators coming by and being like, "Hey, man,
maybe
what happened?
Yeah.
Can you please just tell?"
Or she knew something.
Right. Or it was one of those things where like she's at the bar, he messes with her. Another guy like, "Hey, it's my girlfriend. You're dead."
Right.
Oh, dump his body so we don't get sent to jail.
I saw something too where like maybe she, I think it was this woman. She was pregnant, and it might have actually been this unknown man's kid, but for some reason or not, he couldn't be around for it or something like that. So she
murdered him.
So he committed suicide. He stayed in.
Oh, so he may have poisoned himself.
Maybe, yeah.
I like that.
All right, so
I like that a lot.
July of 2022. This is very recent. Derek Abbott, he's a professor at Adelaide University, and a U.S. investigator, Colleen Fitzpatrick, revealed something pretty big. We were able to get hair samples from the unknown man's death mask and run the DNA. So remember we asked about the DNA, like hair on the death mask. They claim that the identity of the Somerton Man is a Charles Webb. Webb was born in 1905 in a suburb of Melbourne, Australia. He was an electrical engineer and would have been around 43 at the time of his death. And remember that guy that did autopsy said he's probably in his 40s. And he had no death record that was ever found for this man. So
he just disappeared.
Would have been missing, yeah. He may have been in that area of Somerton Beach because he and his wife had separated. She had moved to that area, so maybe he was there trying to get her back or just like check on her or whatever.
Do they know who the wife was?
Yeah. Furthermore, Webb had a brother-in-law named Thomas Keene. The Keene that was on the...
Oh, he swiped his brother-in-law's clothes.
Which would explain, the time of the suitcase. So maybe it was like a hand-me-down from his...
Oh, okay.
Remember, like, maybe he just got these clothes from someone else.
He was a bum, and he was like... Yeah.
So this Abbott guy located and contacted Webb's living relatives, but none of them knew him or have any photos of him. It's like it's a generation removed, so like people like yeah, we don't really know anything about him.
It's like when we talked about what happens when I die. I want to be stuffed and put in the bathroom.
Yeah. The toilet paper roll.
Yeah.
So this Abbott and Fitzpatrick, they believe Webb might have had mental health issues after several close family members of him had passed away, which would cause a spiral and like depression, cause him to commit suicide. But the police have yet to confirm these findings.
Charles Webb.
Yeah, findings, sir.
Wait, what's...
The police have yet to be like, oh yeah, this is the guy. Like they haven't come forward and like been like, yeah, this.
What's that guy from like the 4th episode?
Episode what?
Of our show.
Oh,
Gary Webb.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Yeah, Gary Webb.
Oh my God, we just connected it like shoelace across.
Wouldn't that be something?
It is something.
They both committed suicide.
Yeah. I think we just broke this. We're going to commit suicide now.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Delete.
The CI just kicks at our door.
Crap.
They give us a pasty. We die from poisoning.
Eat this. I can't, sir. I can't. It's gonna make me sick. Stop, sir.
Go to the bathroom until I die.
Yep.
Let's keep going. I can't stop. I didn't even think about that. They were able to like use stuff like use the DNA and then go through Ancestry to find his living relatives.
No one knew him.
But
none of his relatives.
No one has really pictures. I guess they found pictures of him like in school when he's like the football team, but like not enough for it to be like.
Where was he from again?
Like it's a suburb in like Melbourne, Australia.
Okay, so he's from Australia.
Yeah. Okay. So he wasn't. This guy isn't like a Russian born or anything like that.
Come on, that's what I wanted.
Here's the thing: the police also they haven't denied or confirmed that this is a possibility. Also, that Jerry felt this guy's like, no, this is not who it is.
What? Well, how would he know?
I mean, this guy's an actual police detective.
Yeah, but like DNA is DNA,
right?
Like, oh, these scientist figures. Yeah, okay, these dumb scientists. Yeah,
well, also
using actual stuff.
Apparently, it's Abbott and felt this guy. They don't like each other.
How convenient.
So.
Yeah.
So even this was.
He's just mad that he got showed up by like science.
Dude, no, there's all these people like it's seriously at this gotten to a point where like it's broken in these two camps.
Okay, so it's definitely this Charles Webb is the guy.
Maybe.
Are we so mad?
Gary, like he in his book, like he just gives facts. Like, Jerry. He, from what I understand, he has not said who he thinks the actual man on the beach is.
Well, they just figured out in 22.
Yeah, but even today, he's like I don't think that's it.
It's because he's out of a job. He's not gonna make money anymore. That's how convenient.
I mean, maybe.
It's crazy that.
Okay, so even
they can't figure out who this guy is.
Yeah, even if it is this Charles Webb guy.
Yeah, if it's anybody.
Why? Yeah, right.
No one knows.
How did he die?
Why did he die?
Why in that spot?
Why?
And why were labels taken off his clothes? Why was this thing hidden in his pocket?
Why that one lady get all weird when he's around,
right?
Or whenever he's brought up?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, there's two sites that are not too far away. I think I remember the distance, but like in that general area, like there were government sites,
military installations. Yeah. I mean that's a major city.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he could have been working.
But they were. I mean, they're integral, I guess, to during the Cold War.
How does it go back? Does any of this go back to his dancer legs?
No. I just thought that was interesting. They're like, oh, he's a ballet dancer.
These robust legs.
Yeah. But maybe, Soviet because of that. I don't know.
But still, I mean, that plays into it, right? Like,
sure. I mean, good, yeah. Maybe that was his cover. He's a ballet dancer, but he's really a spy.
What was this Charles guy's job? Like,
he was electrical engineer and apparently made like
electrical engineer for a company.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Well, there's just too many the roads here. This guy, a dead body.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
And he also had like an unused ticket to go to another beach, another area. Why was his suitcase left and not reclaimed by him?
You think he just wanted to get drunk or go to the beach? Why would he take a suitcase to the beach?
Also, why would he be there in the middle of the night?
In a suit.
Yeah, in a suit. Why would he have different cigarettes? So that's another thing too. Like maybe the cigarettes were laced with poison. Because the brand of cigarettes he had, the package cigarettes inside were totally different.
Okay, I'm just showing off for the ladies.
Maybe
look at this. I got money for these babies. It's the 40s though. Isn't that just like a common thing? Like stole them off someone else, or like it just seems like there's. It seems like they're very easy to say this is the story, but then this is the answer to the story.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, maybe. Especially with these two groups that are feuding.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Which I think is
just get together and figure this crap out.
Just like,
I hate people with egos.
Yeah, the one article I found, like, it'll be posted on here. It's kind of interesting to see like what the because the person who wrote it interviews and talks about people, and they can tell like that they don't like one another.
Like this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
DNA. Yeah. What's that?
They use a lot of funny words and like stuff like that. explain each other.
Well, what is there any theories for this?
Well, that
common theories is what you found.
Yeah,
right?
I mean that
so
Charles
what we
Webb
got
one
is
seems the most.
okay. That's the
It's
theory.
the newest one.
Okay. Could have been he has some kind of relation with this woman.
Right.
He possibly could have fathered a child with her, or almost fathered a child with her. He could have mental health problems, like
right. And I think I saw somewhere else too that this nurse.
There's so many people that could know, but maybe also could like incriminate them, possibly.
Oh right, yeah.
And also, what are we like? I guess the other question is, what do we get if you solve the problem? What do you get? It's not like at this point, if it was a Russian spy, or Soviet Union spy,
it doesn't matter at this point.
Damage is probably done,
right? But it's usually at this point, though, at least nowadays, like they figure out who this person was.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they did. They just no one wants to believe it.
Yeah,
because then these people stop making money off their books or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So who do you think this guy was? We're gonna jump down to theories now.
Yeah.
Who do you think this guy was?
Originally, when I saw this, I kept seeing it pop up. I'm like, I don't really care. It's just a guy they found on a beach, like whatever. But the fact that like the labels were taken off, the mixing of the cigarettes, and like this guy saw him on the beach, like raising his arm up and then dropping it, thinking he was drunk, but maybe like he was actually like in the process of dying.
Like asking for help.
Yeah. Or he actually was trying to light the cigarette, and maybe he did. That's why there's that cigarette stuck on that was on his collar. Maybe that's what poisoned him. But one of the people that were given an autopsy were just like, well, it would have to have been exotic poison. I don't think like something that's not readily available, or known to be used. And then that piece of paper from the book in his, hidden pocket. So I think
that's the weirdest detail.
And then what were the code on there? And the Abbott guy who claims to know who this man is, I think was I saw like he was talking about what these codes might mean. It would have been like a grocery list, something like that.
Seems like a silly way to write a grocery list.
A shorthand way of doing it.
But it wasn't hidden or written small or something?
Yeah, it was under ultraviolet light. So like why? I don't know.
So that kind of stuff is like, but that was the book they found in the car, right?
Yeah.
So how do they know? I don't know. Those guys didn't mess with it. Like
right.
You have no way of knowing who.
Yeah.
While the only connection is that cut word at the end.
Yeah.
How do you not know what happened between there?
Right. I
mean, what was the phone number to go to? It was unlisted. It
was unlisted. Yeah. But they found who it belonged to.
They wouldn't name it. Person.
It was that nurse.
Thompson.
Nurse,
okay,
yeah.
Thompson. Jessica Thompson.
But also those guys who found the book, they could have been like, oh, ripped it out themselves.
Did they know Jessica Thompson? Was there a connection there?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But they could have like heard about this and was like, oh, like we talked about before, like we want to be part of this story, so we'll just rip this piece out of our own book.
Put it in his pocket though? It had to be the exact shape.
Or right, yeah.
Be like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Unless they were like, oh yeah, it's probably it. And like no one checked, no one went like this. Like put them together.
Yeah, her phone number being in there is really weird too. Like
or one of those guys knew her and was like, this I hate her. I'm gonna put her number in here and make her take the fall for this guy's death.
And deal with it for the next 60 years.
Yeah, like it just seems like
I wanna here's the thing, man, like we've talked about so many times, I wanna believe it's like a Cold War espionage spy kind of thing.
So do I.
It seems so cool.
That's what I want it to be.
It seems so cool to me. It definitely seems like there's pieces there that would make that be good
possible.
Well, yeah, make a good movie, but make it possible. Like, note in the book, labels were taken off his clothes, might have been poison.
Orange thread.
Like exotic orange
exotic
thread.
Orange.
But like, there's certain things like that that's like makes me, want to believe, not only want to believe, but make it seem possible that could be the case.
Yeah. I mean, it should be like, we should be able to figure this out. Like, not me.
Yeah.
Or you.
But by now, yeah.
But like, actual people who are paid to do this stuff, like know what they're doing.
Right.
You gotta narrow it down and be like, if it's not this guy the DNA says it is, then how did Charles Webb's DNA get into that?
Right.
Was he? Unless it goes back and like, oh no, he was the guy who did the cast molds, or like.
No, it was it wasn't him. Yeah, because
so
they
like
talked to that guy.
They probably were smart enough to like eliminate all possibilities.
Right.
It's so nuts.
Apparently, they talked to the guy that did the mold. Like, hey, do we have any do you have any leads? I don't know who talked to them. He's like, he wouldn't name. Like, we got something, but I'm not telling you.
This is like where what's his name from the first episode went.
Oh yeah,
the arch pirate. What?
Henry Avery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him. Found the fountain of youth and then got poisoned by.
I mean, these webs don't have good lives, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a weird web.
I totally didn't even like think about that.
Web across the world there.
Both died by apparent.
So this is just a normal guy that was like playing football in 1905, or was born in 1905, went to school, played football. Like,
yeah,
was football invented back?
Yeah.
So football was,
but also might have been soccer because some of these articles I was reading are from
yeah.
Australia. I don't know.
Yeah, so it wasn't cool football. It was like
I don't know if that's what they
football.
Yeah, because they do rugby. They call it footy,
dude.
But a lot of the articles I found were
call it footy, and then there's a giant spider there. I'm like, nope.
We're from Australia.
They probably hold me down and put a spider on my face. Yeah.
Just put it on there.
I'm like, I'm from America. Leave me alone.
With that scene in Home Alone, he's like, don't. Like, what are you doing, Marv? What are you doing, Marv?
Harry.
What are you doing, Marv? Wax him. Again, why is he wearing all his clothes on a beach? I know people wore like they dressed up when they went out, like there weren't sweatpants or anything.
Well, if
like
it was
that.
2 a.m.
Yeah, but what
he's probably out partying.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably didn't have any other clothes, right? It's not like he had swim trunks in the block. Like it was probably the swim trunks that were like real, like the whole like jumpsuit, and it was like the stripes.
So wait, what do you think about the statement that was found, 1959, about this witness seeing a man carrying another man on the beach?
I think it was. Okay, if you want to know what I think happened to him, our theory here, my theory.
Europe.
It looks like he isn't a Russian spy.
He is or isn't?
He isn't, obviously. I mean, he probably's not. But this guy that's carrying him on the beach, probably not real. But if it was, he probably got in a bar fight or like did like no, obviously it wasn't a bar fight. Maybe he's said something. I don't know. He was involved in something that like who knows? If that's what's true, he was definitely found on the beach. He probably did something, knew something he wasn't supposed to know, or said something he wasn't supposed to say. Well, he was an electrical engineer, someone known for a patent. I don't,
Yeah.
I think sounds like he had mental problems. You said a lot of deaths in his family. Kind of all this compounding together.
If it's Charles Webb, yeah.
Yeah, if it is Charles Webb, yeah, because they never found Charles Webb.
No.
Like body, they don't know records of him.
No.
Other than
no death certificate or anything.
1905, I guess he'd probably have to be.
Well, he's born in 1905. Yeah.
So I mean, he'd
yeah,
probably have to be.
Yeah.
In Australia, they have no death record in Australia.
Or Charles Webb, yeah.
They're probably smart people and probably looked outside.
Yes.
The country, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them was American that helped figure this out.
He's probably in New Zealand. The Hobbit.
He's a Hobbit now.
Yeah. I'm going to say that this, I had also, prior to this episode, I knew generally what the story was, because again, it comes up a lot in research.
Mm-hmm.
I knew generally what it was, but I know about the new stuff, the new information from 2022.
Yeah.
It seems to me like I hate when people let pride get in the way of science or answers. I also hate when people come on my show. No, come to my show and tell me what to do. I hate when people like their pride gets into the way of like doing potentially their job. Like, no, I know, like, I'm not even going to consider this an answer because it wasn't my answer.
Oh,
Like,
right, yeah, yeah.
I'm not the
yeah,
one who
yeah.
discovered this answer, therefore it's not the answer.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to fight you on it the entire way instead of being like, hey, the most plausible thing, as we've said many times, is probably the right story.
Right.
So maybe no one at this time, so at that time, 1948, no one really said, the people that all said, I have missing persons, my son, my nephew, my uncle was missing. Okay, can you come down and look at this body?
Right.
Nothing came from that, obviously. So maybe that did happen. So it had to either be, there's no way no one in that, if he grew up there, around that area, someone had to know who he was.
Right.
If they put his picture in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Someone would have known or known who he was.
Maybe he took the labels off.
That's why I don't think
made
he's
him itchy.
Yeah, I do that for my kid all the time. My 2-year-old's like, he just labels. I'm like, dude, it's on your. I don't know what size it is, bro. I don't know how to wash this stuff. I don't know how laundry works. Like, you put all those details together, like no one knew him, came forward.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the newspaper worked back then. Like,
right.
I mean, back in the 40s, right? People went to like, when a guy got off work, he walked down to the movie theater and watched like the newsreel, then went home, so he saw, maybe they had it in there. Like, it seems like someone would have noticed him and I'd hopefully come forward unless he did some real crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Someone had to have come forward. If they put his face in the newspaper, someone would have came forward.
Right.
So therefore, I don't think he was from Australia. I think this was something else. I don't know what. I wish it was USSR, like Soviet Union spy, but
yeah,
something was going on. He didn't want to be found.
Yeah.
Well, why would no one come out and say this is who he is?
I don't know.
If it was Charles Webb,
right?
If it was Charles Webb, someone would have said at that time, "That's Charles Webb." Pictures in the paper. He was born not too far from there, right?
I mean, the same country, but like Melbourne. I don't know how Melbourne is from.
I'm sure, but again, I'm sure they would have put it in newspapers in Melbourne.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This also just happened. So, like, even Abbott, the guy that one of the people that discovered like the DNA in the hair, he's like, I'm hoping this is just the beginning of. We forgot who Charles Webb is. I'm hoping like his picture gets out there more. Someone who knows him and knows his past.
I still think they would have known him back then. In his face in the paper. His face in the paper.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, yep. That's
right. Back then.
Yeah.
They put his paper, they plastered his face I'm sure this was a big story.
Yeah.
They probably plastered his face all over the country.
Oh, they did, yeah. So
someone would have known who he was, unless it was someone who had some troubled past that no one really wanted to know anymore. Family was dead. Something like that. Or like someone, he didn't want to be found.
Yeah.
Or no one knew, like, they didn't want to find him. So he's either someone pretty bad that no one really wanted to know anymore, or he was a Russian spy, or like a spy, or some type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But if he was Charles Webb, how did Charles Webb? If it wasn't Charles Webb, how did his DNA get into that stuff?
Right. Yeah. Was he there looking at the mask? Or like looking at the body.
His hair fell in. Yeah. He sneezed. Like,
nose hair fell in.
Yeah. Yeah. How would Charles? If they probably. I mean, is Charles Webb like the guy who swept the bathroom, like swept the police sink up or the police precinct up like at the end of the night, and that's how his hair got in?
Oh, guess
we're not smart enough.
Don't know.
We are not smart enough to solve this problem.
Per usual.
As one of the premier mysteries. Again, will we ever solve one?
Maybe someday, but not yet.
Like a little boring one.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bee or something that stung him.
It
was a spider bite.
I was gonna say it was a beaver, like a beaver got him or something.
Yeah. Like, well, sorry, one of those like boring mysteries. Or really apparent one that people are like, yeah, no crap. Figured that out 20 years ago, idiot.
It's been well known and documented.
We solved one.
We did it.
All right, Jordan. Thank you for bringing the Somerton Man closer to our hearts. Or, I mean, maybe someone's going to hear this and be like, oh crap. Your mom's like,
I know it is.
Jordan, I gotta tell you your brother, Charlie.
About Charles.
Yeah. You think about how many people just go missing every day.
Yeah, right.
And people that don't want to be found.
Well, yeah.
Like adults that are like, I don't know, like for mental health. I mean, mental health problems, whatever.
Or escaping some kind of financial thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stories about that. Like the Wild Boy. I think we talked about the Wild Boys podcast. Talk about that. The Wild Boys is a podcast. There's a story about these boys recently, like a couple years ago, maybe. Bring us up on this show. Okay, so the Wild Boy. Man, I was telling someone else about it. The Wild Boys is a podcast about this story about these. They were found in Canada. I want to say some small town in Canada, just in the woods. Like there was these boys that are like living in the back of this like store, and somehow like maybe back. I mean, in the woods behind a store, and eventually this town like rallied around these kids and being like, "Hey man, let me help you out." And they said like they came from this like really weird community. They didn't want to say where it was because they're scared to go back there. They were abused or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they brought them in and they found like one of them, they were like really, really, really interested and like really into like holistic medicine and like very clean food and stuff. And so they really, one of the brothers, their brothers, one of them was like had like a mental health issue relating to like food. Like he would only eat vegetables. That's it. And so much so that like they had to be very specific and like in the way they prepared. So he was like basically wasting away.
Okay.
And the other brother was kind of like letting it happen. He was kind of like helping him and being like, no, don't feed him that. Don't feed, like kind of like controlling the situation or something.
When did this happen?
Maybe late 2010s or I mean like late 2000s.
Okay.
Like 2009, 2013, something like that. Like it's recent. And so like people started giving money to them to help them out, and they were living with this one family, and they were like weren't doing anything. They weren't like, it was very strange that they were like not involved with anything. Like they didn't want to like get jobs and like help them pay. They just kind of basically wanted to mooch off of everybody. And people were giving like the local like community and like the preacher and stuff was trying to help them out.
Okay.
And they would never say where they were from. They would never say who they would say like they were abused and all this story. And anyway, it boils down to like eventually the one kid, the younger brother goes into the hospital because he's like not eating anything. He's only eating vegetables and he refuses. He's like super terrified of eating anything. So he find out that eventually it's like this family from California, and these are two brothers that ran away from this house in California who like their parents were really crazy about food and like clean living and everything, and like got so much for that was like really bad. And there's 4 kids and 2 of them ran away. And so then like the cops are coming to the house and being like child protective services were like, you need to feed your kids. Like you need to like knock this stuff off. And like eventually, they worked with mental health, communities, and like they got help and tried getting things correct. And like I'm not saying don't eat healthy. I'm saying like there's a limit, where like the kids were brought up in this house for like, oh my God, if you eat anything other than vegetables, you're gonna die. Or like you're gonna get some weird disease or something. They were terrified of it. So the parents admitted like, yeah, we messed up, and like then apparently the protective services came. Were like, we're gonna make this kid eat food, like because he's gonna die. So they ran away and they ran to Canada.
Okay.
And they're from like an affluent family, like so like they were living up in Canada, and all this entire community was like feeding them and like giving them money and stuff and trying to help them out. And they had like an affluent family back home. But anyway, what happened was that one boy went to the hospital, and the parent and like I guess finally the older brother was like, yeah, my parents live in California, blah, blah, blah. And it was like this huge thing. All those people were like real angry about it because they're like, well, you
never heard of
you
this.
took all this money. Yeah, it's called the Wild Boys. It's like it was like a pretty crazy story where like the entire, like I was, in the summer I build stuff. So I'm always like listening to stuff. And like, it was like one of those ones where like, I can't wait to hear what happens. Cause like, I want to know who these boys are. And like 6 episodes, pretty easy listen. And then you're like, oh, wow, these guys suck. Like, what a jerk.
Bums.
Yeah.
How old were they?
Oh, they were like, I think one of them was 16.
Oh, geez.
The younger one was maybe like 16, and one of them was like 18, maybe 17.
They're just.
But the cops came to the house, like child protectives, they jumped out the window and left in like California, and they eventually made it to Canada. And were like living in the back of like behind this store in the woods.
Okay.
And one brother would come in, like somehow he would do something to get money, or maybe they had some money and they would buy food with it, or they'd mooch, like they'd kind of like panhandle for money.
Yeah.
And they would only buy vegetables. Some say like.
So
anyway,
they left because they were only allowed vegetables, and they still only
no.
vegetables?
they left because Child Protective Services was gonna make the one younger brother eat
Okay, got it.
something else because he was like too unhealthy. And so when I went to Canada, he just still kept on. He kept on like reading books about healthy food. Like he was always reading about healthy food and stuff like that. And, like looking on the internet. Like they went on the internet. Like people caught him going on the internet and going into Facebook. And they're like, they supposedly came from a society. It was like no technology, only allowed to read, no TV. And then they would watch movies and stuff and be like, oh, I love this movie. And like people are like, the families that were like taking care of him were like, what are you talking about? How do you even know what this is? And they would like go on the internet and like go on Facebook and stuff.
So what happened to him?
They eventually had to go back to their parents and like they got sent back. I think they're definitely still alive and everything. It's like a recent story, but like I think the older brother was like fine. He was just like supporting the younger brothers. It was like a control thing, I guess. But yeah, I think the parents were like kind of snapped out of it. But then they like kids went missing and they were like, yeah, we'll look for him. And like I can't remember the exact story, but it was crazy. I was like, just like what the hell? Yeah, because there was like a daughter also involved, and she was like, yeah, my parents were crazy. Now they're fine. I don't know. Anyway, Jordan, thank you for this story. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hopefully, when I expire, you dump me on a beach and like cut my tags out so people are having a mystery about me.
You're only allowed vegetables.
No. Well, technically, the way my life is, my feet maybe will get warmer. All right. Everybody out there, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We're not going to solve this in my basement because we never do.
Nope.
Please give us a subscribe, follow us on Facebook, I should have this memorized by now. YouTube at Mysterious Pals, Facebook at Mysterious Pals, Instagram at Mysterious Pals, Twitter at Mysterious_Pals. Any podcast feed we're located under Mysterious Pals. Please subscribe, please follow, leave us some comments on YouTube videos. It all helps us out. If you want to help us out, that's the best way to do it. Subscribe, follow, whatever. If you want to reach out and talk to us via email at mysteriouspals online@gmail.com. Or the easiest thing to do is just go to mysteriouspails.com and it has a link to everything's on there. Smack the laptop. Jordan.
Chris.
Thanks for being here again.
Thank you.
Everybody out there, we love you.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening and stay
mysterious.
Pals.
Oh, yep.
Good night. Bye.